Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel The Healthy Drive. This channel is about your health. As the year draws to a close, I would like to thank each and every one of you for encouraging me on this channel. As you know, I am an anesthesiologist. My daily life involves working in the operating room at the cutting edge of modern day medicine. But this is not what this channel is about. This channel is about your health. As an anesthesiologist with nearly 30 years of experience, what I have realized and what I have seen that the patients coming to the operating room are getting sicker by the day. Even 5 years back, a patient coming in for a knee joint replacement would only have a knee joint problem. A patient coming in for a gallbladder surgery would only have a gallbladder issue. But today, each and every patient coming into the operating room, no matter what the age, is having multiple comorbidities. So what has happened is the population is becoming sicker and sicker, no matter how much modern day medicine is advancing. So this has always been puzzling for me. This has always kept me worried, and the basic reason that I am unable to help my patients as a doctor has always remained in the back of my mind. And then came the real life jolt that when I got affected about 10 or 12 years back, I became obese. I was having pre-diabetes, high blood pressure, acid reflux, bronchial asthma, knee joint issues and other problems of which I have told you about in my previous videos. So I had to deal with this in my personal life too, and somehow I knew that taking a lot of drugs was not the answer. So I had to dig deep. I had to find out the root cause of these diseases in order to tackle with them, and that was my individual struggle, and that helped me to understand the root cause of metabolic diseases. And when the time came, I started sharing. But it was during the height of the pandemic in 2020 that I spoke in a few webinars, mainly to doctors, and it was very well received. And after that encouragement, I somehow managed to start my YouTube channel this year in 2022, and I'm so very thankful to each and every one of you for having encouraged me. My main message from this YouTube channel, The Healthy Drive, has been that lifestyle diseases are the number one killers today, not only in the urban population, but also in the semi-urban, rural, and even in the tribal population. It is the lifestyle diseases which have become the number one killer. The main reason behind these lifestyle diseases has been the lifestyle disorders. That is what we eat, how we lead our modern day lifestyles. And one of the main messages that I have been telling you, that this is nutrition related, because nutrition is something which, as doctors, as mainstream nutritionists, we are not taught properly. What happens is this is taken over by the media, and a lot of misconceptions are going around, of which I have talked about. All the lifestyle diseases like high blood pressure, high blood sugar, heart attacks, strokes, low testosterone, PCOS, obesity, cancer, all these lifestyle diseases have one particular culprit, that is hyperinsulinemia. That is what I have told in many of my episodes. And hyperinsulinemia is driven by the food we eat mainly. So what drives hyperinsulinemia? It is the refined carbohydrates and starches that you eat, and that is available in plenty nowadays. So on one side, these carbohydrates, or carbohydrates in general, are a non-essential element, and on the other hand, it comprises 80 to 90% of what you eat. There lies the dichotomy. We are eating excess of a non-essential nutrient and not eating what is really needed for us. So this is driving what is known as a state of chronic hyperinsulinemia in our bodies, and this chronic hyperinsulinemia is the cause behind all these lifestyle diseases. It causes obesity, it causes hypertension, it causes high blood sugar, because it leads to type 2 diabetes, and it is also the cause of cancer. At least it has been established that it causes some form of cancer, because hyperinsulinemia or insulin like growth factor is one of the causes. Much of it can be prevented only if you can address your nutrition. So if you should not be eating carbohydrates, then what should you be eating? You must prioritize your protein. Remember the protein leverage hypothesis which I talked about, that every living creature eats and keeps on eating till its protein needs are satisfied. This has been researched across insects, primates, and even in human beings. So what has happened is, once upon a time when we were hunter gatherers, our food was very much rich in protein and fat, and a little bit of nutrient dense food would do, and we could not only eat less often, we could tide over long period of not getting food. But once agricultural revolution happened, the discovery of grains, the discovery of rice and wheat led to dilution of the protein. So the Homo sapiens as a species started eating more. Fast forward to today, what has happened is most of the food that we eat today are very little in protein, contain very little protein. So what is happening is, this is one of the causes which is driving the obesity epidemic, because we keep on eating till our protein needs are satisfied, and our protein needs are never satisfied where the modern day foods are concerned. Hence this is the real cause of obesity, and since this is the cause of obesity, this is also the cause of other metabolic diseases which are related to it. So this is in essence the protein leverage hypothesis. So prioritize your protein. Try and meet your protein to target. I talked about protein to target in one of my episodes. You can go back and listen to it. For any average Indian male, 65 kg, and Indian female, 60 kg is the ideal body weight, and you must target 1 milligram per kg of protein of your ideal body weight per day. So this can be met in various ways, whether you are a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian, as it is called in our country. You can go back to one of my episodes where I have talked about keeping your protein to target to find out the details about this. So prioritize your protein, and remember that fats are also essential. Good saturated fats, they are not the cause of heart disease. They do not cause harm. In fact, they protect against heart disease and gives you the much essential energy needed for you. For example, a reference protein and fat combination would be in an egg, which comes with not only protein but a good amount of rich fat, which is known as cholesterol, which is very, very essential to you. So what you should be eating is protein and fat, and try and eat as less carbohydrates as possible. Our body functions according to a rhythm which is known as the circadian rhythm, and this rhythm must be maintained. We must not get up in the morning and first thing to do is to eat something. When we get up in the morning, our body is in a naturally fasted state, and we must allow this fasted state to continue till some time. Remember that our old hunter-gatherers ancestors had to go out and hunt for some food, then only break their fast. Food was never a guarantee. Similarly, we must try and continue the fasted state when we get up in the morning as far as possible, and eat a little later. And throughout the day, you must eat wholesome and nutrient dense food, and you should stop eating at least 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. This is important for several reasons. First of all, if you eat a heavy meal and go to bed immediately, there might be a reflux and the food will not have been digested properly. And secondly, you will not have reached the fasted state, because the benefit of going to sleep in the fasted state, that is when your body has switched over from the fed state to the fasted states, are enormous. I have talked about it in my episode on intermittent fasting in the previous episode. You can go back and listen to it. What about exercise? Yes, exercise has tons of benefits, I always say, but weight loss is not one of them. For weight loss to occur, you must get your nutrition right. Then only exercise will work. But other than that, there are plenty of benefits of exercising. The human body was actually made to move. In fact, that is how it evolved. When you exercise, you can maintain your muscle mass, and now this is very, very critical. Not only you can build muscles, but you can maintain your muscle mass, which becomes important when you become older, and as you are aging, your bones also become weak. Now the muscle and the bone are intimately related. So if you can do regular exercise especially resistance training and a little bit of cardio, you will make sure that your muscle mass is maintained, and this will prevent osteoporosis, because as I said, muscle mass and muscle health is intimately related to bone health. This will prevent unnecessary pathological fractures, which is so very common. And which is next point which I have tried to emphasize is that not only what you eat but when you eat is also very vital. Our bodies exist in two states. One is the fed state, another is the fasted state. Before I end, what about the COVID-19 virus? There's a new variant which is making news nowadays. Should you be worried? According to the scientists, this variant of the Omicron virus has already been around in our country, and it is possible that the Indian population has developed a herd immunity towards it, which includes the vaccination program. If you haven't taken the booster dose yet, do consider taking it. And to continue using the mask in public places is always a good idea. It not only prevents you from the COVID-19 virus but other viruses and also bacteria like the tuberculosis, which is always has been a nuisance in our country. But most importantly, build your immunity. That is the most important thing which will matter when you are hit by any virus. Not the virus itself, but how your body reacts to it. Remember, the virus has its own lifespan. It will get into your body. Whether it multiplies and causes a vicious storm will depend on your immunity, and that varies from person to person. If you have been following what I have been telling in my YouTube channel, that maintaining a state of nutritional ketosis in your body by following a low carbohydrate diet, by following a high protein diet, you will build up your immunity in a natural way. A state of nutritional ketosis will not only help you to fight against any of these viruses, but will also help you to minimize the chances of metabolic diseases, which I have been talking about. Because in a state of nutritional ketosis, these ketones are not only alternative fuel for your body, they also increase your immunity, and they are signaling molecule. In fact, they have been caused as longevity molecules. That's what I really wish for each and every one of you, the best possible health. If you have any questions, please do not forget to write them down below, and please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Share this video with as many friends as possible so that everyone benefits from you. And I wish you a very happy new year in advance, and I will catch up with you next time.